Posted by you/Thrower_Caught. Watch, this is update of caught wife trying to openly cheat on me with someone I considered a friend from her Apple Watch. Hospitalized mother who took my cheating wife's side over mine now wants to see me. It's been over 7 months since I first posted on Reddit, and I honestly thought that was it for me, as I didn't need any more advice. I had made my decisions and done what I said I would, but I got a phone call this morning that has dragged me back into the mire. A TLDR of it is when I was putting my drunk wife to bed, I seen a message pop up on her watch from a friend of mine which sent me down the rabbit hole. I ended up walking away from my house that was to be left to me by my parents and severed my relationship with them as they took my wife's side over mine. While I wanted her out the house and my life, as I had no interest in reconciling. My mother tried to keep us together and thought she was seeing us through troubled waters, but I left the house and haven't spoken to them since, until this morning. I have moved 15 miles away, changed my phone number, and am still in the process of divorcing my wife. She has completely ignored all the requests from my divorce lawyer to cooperate, which has hindered things. We're now in the process of putting in an application for deemed service, so she will be served officially by the courts, and if she continues to ignore, then I can proceed with a divorce without her input. Well, this morning while at work I got a phone call from my friend telling me that my dad was trying to get in touch as my mother is not well. And would it be okay if he gave him my number? I said okay, and my dad phoned to tell me mom is in hospital, she's stable but not great. Obviously I was shocked, as I've not heard my dad's voice for so long. It was also the most emotional I've ever heard him. He told me my mom really wants to see me, so would I meet him at the hospital tonight and go in and see her with him. I said okay, and I've arranged to meet him outside the hospital. I ended up going home from work as I couldn't concentrate, and I'm climbing the walls here wondering if I've made the right decision, wondering if I'm about to get dragged back into this shit show that I walked away from. I've never felt so nervous in my life, and the lack of control I have over the situation has sent my mind spiraling in lots of different directions. I feel like I'm walking into a burning building blindfolded with no idea where the exits are. Why does she want to speak to me now? Has she had a change of heart? Unless she's also had a personality transplant while in there, I find that unlikely. Will my wife be there? I have no interest in ever seeing her again. I'm still angry about what transpired with them and the way they took my cheating wife's side over mine. I've been going back and forth in my head about going at all, but I will go. I was also thinking about maybe seeing if she wanted to speak over the phone instead, but not sure if she would do that or even if she's well enough. I feel like the bad guy here and that I might have caused this from walking away. How would you handle this? Any advice would be appreciated. Let's see top comments before reading the update. Success 1 comments: I read your story in full and agree 100% with your actions. I hope you're living your best life from here on in. You truly deserve it. Villain_911 comments: personally, I feel one of the best ways to deal with trauma is to disassociate yourself from the causes of said trauma. You said yourself that your parents siding with your ex hurt worse than her attempted cheating. After they sign the house over to you, I suggest you sell it and use the profits to move away. Not even to a new state, just away from that area. Start your new life building memories in a place that isn't tainted by people who don't care about you. If your mom and dad have a problem with it, look them dead in the eyes and apologize for blindsiding them with such a betrayal, and tell them how you couldn't imagine that from someone they thought loved them. Red Porsche Killa comments: hi OP, been with you since the first post, boy what a ride. Now we people tend to mourn over the things we've lost, and in parts it's rightfully so. But don't see your years with your STBXW as a waste. You have given all you've got. It wasn't you who cheated, it wasn't you who broke the wedding vows, it wasn't you who deceived, lied, and pretended. That's all on the plate of your STBXW. You gained experience, and trust me, I divorced my wife when I was 33 and I thought my life was at its end. Moved back to my parents, what a joke I was, so I thought. Well, I got up, told life to stop slapping me like a bitch, and moved forward. I became the change, and boy did life reward me. I've seen places, traveled so extensively that I don't like to travel via plane no more, that many flights I've taken. I was blessed with owning things I would have never dared dreaming about, all because of that one leap. Enjoy that week in the Big Apple, make it your memories, and show the world what it looks like when you've achieved something you wanted. Remember, the best revanche is being happy and successful. The regrets will eat on your STBXW, that's for very sure. So keep moving forward and write that new chapter of your life. Update: hospitalized mother who took my cheating wife's side over mine now wants to see me. Sorry about the late update. I've spent the last few days trying to digest what happened and how I feel. So I did end up going to the hospital on Wednesday night after much toing and froing. I was genuinely about to back out at the last minute as I felt my bottle crashing, but I needed some closure and knew that I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't go and something happened. When I drove into the hospital car park, I had this surreal feeling of extreme paranoia and was half expecting my wife to jump out from behind a bush or something. I met my dad at the entrance and it was pretty awkward as he tried to hug me and I said no. I then said if my wife is here in any way, shape or form, then I am about turning and out the door. He assured me she wasn't and we made our way to the ward where Mum was. When I seen my mother I got the fright of my life as she looked like she had been in the wars. Never have I seen her look so frail. She's got an extreme black eye, also a lot of bruising and purple/yellowness down one side of her face. She took a serious fall, broke 2 ribs, shattered her elbow and banged one side of her head/face on the ground. So elbow, ribs then head in that order. She looked zombified but perked up when she seen me. She told me how much she's missed me, and that she wasn't sure she'd ever see me again. I told her if she had really wanted to get a hold of me she could have done. We spoke for a bit about what exactly had happened, and how she was down for a few hours before my dad found her, also that she was determined to get back to normal and mend bridges with me. I brought up my wife and that I had been pushing for a divorce but she was either ignoring the letters or wasn't getting them, so I asked if she's still in the house. Mum admitted she was and Dad started to look uncomfortable. I just looked away in disgust. Mum started saying how lost my wife is without me and that she's not in a good way. I knew then that nothing will change. She's not had an epiphany or seeing things from a new perspective, she just wants the status quo back. She said that the house is my home and always will be, but I told her I don't want it. It means nothing to me anymore and all it holds are bad memories. I stayed for under an hour all in all. When I left I said if I want to get in contact I will, but don't be waiting over the phone for me to call, as you might be waiting a while. When Dad walked me out he asked if I would keep in touch with him and I said I would. Whether that's right or wrong I don't know. Time will tell. When I got home my emotions were a bit all over the place, from sadness to anger, but I'm glad I went. Couldn't help think about my wife as well, and what she once meant to me. It'll never not hurt. When I think about everything that's happened in the last 7 months, it honestly doesn't feel real. The speed at which everything fell apart was just spellbinding. I know life comes at you fast, especially when you're not paying attention, and I wasn't paying attention. It was just sheer luck I found out about her trying to cheat on me, cosmic coincidence, nothing more. I never seen the signs or put everything together, I just saw something on her watch and it tore my fucking life apart. I know now that it wasn't the only time, I know it in my heart, and I see what she is and feel no love for her, only contempt. I feel she stole the best years of my life. When I think about all the good times, they're just soured. It feels like someone else's life, not mine. My friend was saying I should see a therapist or something to try and let everything out, or else this will fundamentally change who I am and the way I build relationships going forward. That's something I'm going to do, I think, as I do feel a bit broken inside. The last 6+ months have been the worst of my life, but I'd rather they happened than been kept in the dark. I'm just sad that it happened the way it did, but you can't choose the way someone fucks you over, I suppose. You just have to learn from it. I remember reading about loyalty being the most undervalued character trait, and I see that now. Probably because you don't really know if someone is truly loyal to you until, well, they're not. It's not something you deal with every day, but now more than ever I know how important a trait it is. Let's see few comments before reading the update's biggest sigh comments. She said that the house is my home and always will be. If that were true, your ex wouldn't be living in it. She'd be out on the street. I think you need to explain to your dad the depth of the betrayal you are feeling. That their own cheating past doesn't mean that you should accept cheating in your relationship. You should let him know if his mom was genuine about mending her relationship with him, then it begins with his ex no longer having residency in the house that is supposed to be his. That as long as they are loyal to her, then it is a betrayal of you. Period. They need to fully understand that you aren't bending and that you have boundaries. Also, listen to your friend who tells you to get therapy because he's right. You need someone to help you sort through all your emotions. Find someone who also works with the body to help release trauma that is stored in the body. Awkward Ed 6399 comments your friend is absolutely right in telling you to see a therapist. It'll help you to release the stress that has been building up for the past 7 months and help you move on in life. You were dealt a shitty hand and there is no denying that what your parents did was wrong. Captain Adam 5399 comments it's heartbreaking knowing his own parents are doing this. The hospital visit was the right choice because Mohi knows for sure his parents do not love him and will always takes her side. If he hadn't it would have lingered on his mind what might have been. Now he can move on and leave that chapter behind. Update firstly, I'm now in the home stretch, in terms of divorce from my wife. She has signed the divorce papers and now all that's left are the formalities. She sent me a message via my dad where she said she's sorry for not letting me move on, that she thought she could save things but now she knows she can't, and she has to move on for her own well-being. I thank her for seeing sense. She doesn't want anything in the divorce and said she's going to move out the house when she can get on her feet, which I'm okay with. In terms of my mother, I haven't spoken to her yet, but my dad said she's doing a lot better after getting out the hospital and getting some normality back. I don't know how things will pan out with them, but I've said that if the house is going to be mine then I want them to put it into my name now, to give me some security, then we can start trying to build bridges. We'll see how that goes. My biggest battle ahead is in my head and trying to get over everything that's happened. The brain is a wonderful yet frightening thing. To give an example, I can still taste the truffles I scoffed, then threw up, at my grand's house when I was like 5. I've never ate truffles again, but I can still taste those fucking things 30 years later when I think about it. What I'm getting at is I don't want to harbor thoughts, feelings, and opinions about everything that's happened 30 years down the road. I don't want to be one of those older people who have had everything good knocked out of them by the pain of life. You often hear about those people, how they used to be good, kind, or funny, but somewhere along the line, they've had experiences that have forever changed them, turned them into a person they never wanted to be, and all that's left is pain. I don't want to be that person. I have to let this pain go before it consumes me. I have started therapy and spoken to a psychiatrist both over the phone and in person, and it has helped me a lot to speak candidly about everything, if only for a little while. My psychiatrist also said something to me that really struck a chord. When I was moaning about how my best years were behind me, she said, "Your best years are the years you've got left." What I think she meant is the past is gone, it doesn't exist, except in your mind, but the here and now does, and you can choose to make the most of it, or live in a past that isn't real to anyone but you. It's definitely a phrase I'm going to try and remember when I feel down. I said in one of my previous posts that I wanted to travel, and that is finally happening. My friend has committed to come with me, and we've booked a flight to New York at the beginning of October for a week. Really looking forward to it. Always wanted to see New York when the leaves change. Reminds me of that movie You've Got Mail. I want this to be just the beginning of my adventures in terms of traveling. I want my latter 30s to be littered with memories from escapades I've had abroad. Well, that's the plan anyway. All I know is that for the first time in what seems such a long time, I'm waking up with hope in my heart and a spring in my step. If that's not progress, then I don't know what is. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the notification bell as well.